All of a sudden, I look behind me, and there's this guy, and he starts riding my ass completely. I'm like, man, I have bald tires on my car. There's not much I can really do at this point, but continue to drive. Because it's a one lane, basically, and if I pull over and move, it's gonna be slippery, there's gonna be ice, and I may put my car in the ditch, and he may hit me somehow, some way. So I just decided to keep going. And for 10 minutes, this guy decides to flicker his lights on and off and on and off, and try to get me to go quicker and move. But at this time, it's snowing like crazy. I have all seasons on, so I can't go anywhere at this time. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start shooting him in the finger and brake checking him. And that's what I did. So maybe not the smartest decision in this play, but I still did it anyways. So I start brake checking him, shooting him the finger for the next 5 minutes, and he still continues to flicker his lights and ride my ass. And at this point, this guy is like coming so close to my bumper, I can't do anything about it but to continue to drive. So I'm like, all right. All of a sudden, this guy decides to come to my left side, pass me on basically a one-lane street where the ditch is so close to the side, and come around and try to slam the brakes onto me for me to hit him and rear end him. And the last second, I basically swerved around him to the left side, caught it, and then continued to drive, which was insane because if I hit him, I definitely would have had to pay that bill, and I would have been at fault because hitting from behind anywhere in the world, that's your fault, right? So I'm sitting there, my girlfriend's freaking out at the time, and we're just like, okay, this guy is bad news, willing to do anything because I shot him the finger. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna continue to drive. Hopefully this guy cools down and we get home safely. So I'm like, all right, let's chill out, let's cool out. I'm just gonna keep going and hope for the best. So this guy decides to come around again. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready. If he's trying to come around and stomp on the brakes, I'm gonna let him go. I'm just gonna slow down and be prepared. So I'm like, all right. He comes around the side and basically floors his car as fast as he can into the snow where I can't see his lights anymore at this point. So I'm like, all right, he's gone, it's fine. We're done with this guy, and we're most likely never gonna see him again because he's all the way up there, and we're putzing around through the snow and trying to get through, right? So we continue to drive, and 30 seconds later, I keep going, and I look through the snow, and this guy decides to leave his car in the middle of the road, sideways, basically blocking the entire road while it's snowing, while there's black ice, and we see him outside of his car with the door open, and he's there. So I'm like, okay, I can't stop my vehicle. This is all happening so quickly because I can only see 15 feet in front of me, right? So there's not much time for me to react and respond to. So I'm like, fuck it, I can't stop. I'm gonna have to get around to the left side because that's where the most space is. I may put my car in the side of the ditch, but this is the only way without killing or hitting his car. And that's what I did. So I basically came around, pulled the e-brake, So basically a little bit of a temperature issue there with my phone, but it's all good now. So yeah, back to the tail whip. So I pulled the e-brake, came around, tail whipped, almost clipping his car and him. And basically my rear end wheels treading, almost going inside of the ditch, and basically Tokyo drifting, catching it, and then coming out the other side. And meanwhile, as this was going on, I'm probably going maybe 50 to 70 kilometers per hour at this time. This guy decides to slap my mirror basically completely off, like it's still hanging on the side, But as I'm going at this speed, decides to slap the mirror completely and almost break it off. So I'm like, okay, this guy has nothing to lose at this point. We're out the other side. We made it. Let's just drive as quick as possible and try to hopefully get home safe at this point, right? And that's what I did. So I kept continuing to go, thinking that this guy wasn't going to come back because his car was sideways. He was outside of his car, basically had a broken hand. Like I would assume, going this fast, hitting the mirror, something's got to break at that speed, right? So we're like, okay, I'm just gonna floor it, see how fast I can go with my bald tires, and hopefully we make it home. So we're going down 30 seconds later, and I'm like, okay, I think we're in the clear. We're going quick. We should be out. And all of a sudden I look back and I see these headlights coming towards us. And it's at a speed that's kicking for sure. Probably almost double my speed. So I'm probably going around 120 kilometers per hour. He's definitely kicking over 200 at this point with the icy roads, the winter conditions, and everything going back. So what happens was he decides to come behind me. I had no time to react at this point. So I turned my car into the left lane. He almost clips my back end and my front end, basically almost hitting my mirror for the second time, and continues to drive at a speed that's basically unsafe and maybe gonna put your car in the ditch at that point, right? So at this point, I'm looking at my girlfriend. She's panicking. We have nothing to say at this point. I basically stopped my car and just basically trying to internalize what just happened. And yeah, we sat there for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, not really saying a word, basically inside prayer, praying that things were going to be okay at this point. So I'm like, okay, it's 5 to 10. We haven't seen this guy yet come back. Maybe he's up there, put his car in the ditch somehow, some way, because at that speed, with all these icy roads and turns, it's inevitable to crash at that point. So we're like, okay, we're gonna continue to go and hopefully not see him. So we continued, we made it back home safe, and yeah, the whole sequence was just completely crazy. So the reason why I'm telling you guys this story is because there's people in this world that are basically willing to do anything to have the upper hand or basically to end your life over nothing. So maybe I was in the wrong. I shouldn't have shot the finger. I shouldn't have done that. But with the emotions and everything, this guy had nothing to lose. So in this case, in this sense, I'm bringing it over to the Bali situation. I could go back and I could technically go to this guy's house and get my stuff, which is across the island. But in this sense, it's not worth it because these guys are willing to come into my room, steal my things while I'm sleeping, and not afraid of me waking up. So that's just an indicator. These guys are definitely not to be screwed around with, and we don't know what they're capable of, if they have guns, if they have knives, and if we show up, it would just be a bad scene. I don't want to get anyone injured, me, them, anybody, and it would just not be a good situation. So I hope you guys like this story. If you guys have any updates on Java, or you guys know any insight with the police there, let me know. But at this point, yeah, I'm basically just leaving it out. The camera's gone, the phones are gone, everything's gone from my room. I'm just not gonna see it again, that's simple. So I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.